An acrobatic Silky?
Acrobatic Silky. You've seen her in Dandadan, right? She's strange, creepy, and somehow heartbreaking. But did you know she's actually based on a real-life Japanese urban legend?
That right there's an acrobatic silky. Red dress, acrobatic, silky hair. She's an acrobatic silky, all right.
We'll explore how Tatsu-sensei, as fans call Yukinobu Tatsu, the creator of Dandadan, took fragments of an urban legend and turned them into something emotionally powerful. We'll uncover the eerie traits of the original urban legend and how they were transformed into a tragic, almost human story. And what if, behind all that jumping and chasing, there was a mother's regret, and maybe even love? Let's take a closer look. The legend first started appearing around 2008 on Japanese occult message boards. Acrobatic Silky is shown with a really massive appearance, isn't she? When she grabbed Ayla, it was like a giant scooping someone up. In the original urban legend, she's said to be about 2 to 3 meters tall. In the urban legend, Acrobatic Silky is described as moving quickly and sometimes leaping high into the air, appearing suddenly, right in front of you. It's almost superhuman, don't you think? Acrobatic Silky kept leaping after Okarun again and again, like she just wouldn't give up. And we also learned that she had been chasing Ira for over 10 years.
Again, Ira. For over 10 years now, I waited for you to see me.
Tatsu-sensei added a backstory where Acrobatic Silky used to study ballet when she was alive. That detail gives a believable reason for her quick, high jumps. And choosing ballet, of all things, really invites us to imagine her life and struggles. We'll talk more about that part in a later section. Acrobatic Silky attacks using her long hair, stretching and snapping it like a weapon.
It's your fault she hates me!
The word, silky, in English translates to
サラサラ
in Japanese, used to describe something smooth or flowing, like her hair. So her Japanese name is
Acrobatic Silky?
combining her flowing hair with her acrobatic moves. And in Japanese, Momo even shortens it to
Akusara?
Acrobatic Silky swallows Okarun, Ira, and even Momo whole. For Ira, being swallowed by that massive mouth was what ultimately led to her death. It seems she grew up in a household wealthy enough for ballet lessons. But now, her daughter wears shoes that are too big, adult-sized. They probably couldn't afford new ones anymore. And the mother, Acrobatic Silky, was dancing barefoot. In the original urban legend, being barefoot is just a feature. But when combined with the ballet background that explains her acrobatic movements, it becomes something more. A story that reflects hardship and the deep connection between a mother and her child. We saw something similar with her long hair earlier. Long hair gives an impression of elegance, even nobility. But maybe she didn't have the time or money to cut it, while she was struggling to raise her daughter. And even after death, maybe she wandered as a spirit for a long time. Can't you picture that? That red dress. She somehow managed to give it to her daughter, even while living in poverty. But right after that, something terrible happened. The red dress, the hollow eyes. These traits from the urban legend are deeply tied to Acrobatic Silky's past. Moments of love between mother and daughter. and the tragedy that followed. Through that connection, she's no longer just a monster. She becomes a sorrowful, haunting presence with a story that lingers. Let me take a moment to explain something about Japanese ghosts. It's important to understand before we explore the scene where Ira first meets Acrobatic Silky. In Japan, people who are into the occult often refer to certain types of spirits. These ideas don't come from any one religion. They're a blend of folk beliefs, Buddhism, Shinto, and old legends. They're not absolute truths, but more like cultural interpretations. And for many Japanese people, that's the lens through which we enjoy ghost stories and tales of the supernatural. Let's focus on two specific types of spirits often mentioned in Japanese ghost lore.
自爆霊、
Spirits tied to a specific location and unable to leave it.
浮遊霊、
Spirits that drift without purpose or awareness. A good example of a Jibaku Rei would be the ghost girls who appear alongside Turbo Granny in Dandadan. In the anime, they're explicitly described as bound spirits.
異様だったぜ。あまりの霊気の強さにトンネルに近づくことさえできなかった。自爆霊って知ってるか？何か強い執着を持ってその場所に居続ける霊のことだが、奴らは自分のテリトリーの中ではほぼ最強だ。どんな霊媒師も自爆霊とはまともにやり合わねえ。その自爆霊があのトンネルにはいた。それがどういうことかわかるか？ターボババアと自爆霊が合体してやがったのさ。
These are souls who died with deep regrets or grudges and became trapped in the place of their death. Their emotions are so strong that they're said to bring harm or misfortune to the living. While many cultures have tales of lingering spirits, Japan gives them specific roles and names. Jibaku Rei, for example, reflect how emotional ties can anchor a soul to one place. Now let's talk about the Fuyu Rei. These spirits are said to drift aimlessly, without strong emotions, or even the awareness that they've died. With no clear purpose or memory, they simply float through the world in a vague, unconscious state. Fuyu Rei don't usually affect the living in any strong way, but running into one by chance can give you an eerie, unsettling feeling you can't quite explain. When Ira first meets Acrobatic Silky as a child, doesn't she seem just like that? No memories, no goal. Just quietly appearing, as if drawn by something unseen.
I can't remember what, but I think I lost something dear to me.
Mommy?
In Japanese occult beliefs, there's a common idea that spirits who take their own lives are doomed to repeat the same actions again and again, even after death. While the anime and manga differ in how the story is shown, the manga hints that Acrobatic Silky, when she was still human, may have taken her own life by jumping from a building. And the scene where she first meets Ira, it takes place in the city, which suggests Ira may have crossed paths with her ghost as she was endlessly repeating that same tragic moment. In Japanese ghost lore, there's a common belief. Small children can sometimes see things that adults can't. I wonder, does your culture have a similar idea? It's possible that young Ira could see Acrobatic Silky because she was still a child. And as she grew older, that ability may have faded away. There's another belief too. When a spirit and a living person emotionally resonate with each other, the spirit may start to follow them. Maybe Ira's longing for a mother, and Acrobatic Silky's memory of loving her daughter, emotionally synced in some way. And that moment of resonance might be what caused Acrobatic Silky to follow Ira so relentlessly. So why do spirits follow the living? One explanation is that they want to tell us something. Or they're hoping someone will finally notice their pain. In other words, they're looking for salvation. But what kind of salvation? And what was Acrobatic Silky truly trying to express? In the story, there's a key word.
成仏、
A Japanese term that appears in the anime.
どんどん崩れてるけどどうなっちゃうの？
言ったろ、オーラは電池だ。 亡くなれば死ぬさ。しかもこいつは未練を残したままだ。成仏はできねえな。
辛すぎるじゃんかよ。なんかないの？あの人成仏させるためのなんか。
In Japanese culture, it's believed that when a spirit has strong regrets or attachments, their soul can't move on, and they become stuck in this world. Jobutsu refers to the moment when that spirit finally lets go of its regrets and moves on to a place of peace. Although it originally comes from Buddhism, the way it's used in Japan today is more cultural than religious. It's about helping a ghost find peace, not through rituals, but through empathy and emotional closure. When the living show understanding and compassion to the dead, it's believed that those lingering souls can finally find their way forward. Acrobatic Silky saw her daughter in Ira. She clung to Ira, demanding to be called Mother.
When you were a little girl, you called me Mommy. I was so happy. I was never happier than I was that day. Call me Mommy again, please!
Her memories seemed broken, confused. But maybe that confusion came from a deep inner conflict. The unbearable truth that she was the one who made her daughter suffer. She had nothing to give. Despite loving her so deeply, poverty and desperation led to pain. And that pain, mixed with love, turned into obsession. Warped and desperate, aimed at Ira, but making Ira call her Mother.
I wish I could have bought more pretty dresses for you. I wish I spent more time with you. I should have played with you much more than I did. I should have been a better mom. If you were someone else's daughter, you would have been so much happier. With me, you were miserable. I'm so sorry.
That wasn't what she truly wanted to say. What she really wanted to say was,
Mommy, I love you. I was happy. The happiest in the universe.
I love you. And maybe, through Ira, she was finally able to say it. Finally able to let go. Let's rewind a bit to the scene where young Ira first meets Acrobatic Silky. This scene is portrayed differently in the anime and the manga, and it opens the door to two possible interpretations. First, when Ira meets her, Acrobatic Silky is wearing a white dress. In the original urban legend, she's described as wearing red, but some versions mention a white dress instead. So perhaps this is a nod to that lesser-known variation. Second, the white dress could be symbolic. At that point, she was a spirit with no memory, no purpose. Just drifting. White reflects that emptiness. But then, when she finds a new purpose, to express love, even in a twisted, tragic way, she takes on the red dress, a color tied to her daughter. And at that moment, she becomes Acrobatic Silky. The red outfit, the long flowing hair, the towering height, the hollow eyes, the bare feet, the monstrous mouth. All of the features whispered about in the urban legend are now brought to life with a story full of sorrow and depth. Don't you think this is an incredible transformation, based on the urban legend but expanded with such powerful emotion?
Oh, interesting. Let's give it a like. You too.
I need more of this. I'm subscribing. Join me.
ありがとう。
I'd love to hear your thoughts and interpretations too. In the next video, we'll take a closer look at what kind of social backdrop might have shaped this story. If we imagine the events taking place around the year 2008, when Acrobatic Silky first appeared on Japanese occult forums.
はい、お疲れ様でした。
見てくれてありがとう。アルゴリズムくん、未来の仲間との橋渡し、いつもありがとう。